day students, and welcome to the guide for extraction techniques. There are several components you need for the setup. First, a separating funnel, a retort ring support, an Erlenmeyer flask, or in the UK they call it the conical flask, measuring cylinder with aqueous sodium bicarbonate solutions, and the Erlenmeyer flask filled with methylene chloride, and a funnel stopper. Glass funnel. Follow me to the procedures. So here we have the separating funnel and the stopper. The first thing you do is you have to check that the stopcock is tight. Rotate the stopcock a little bit and make sure it's not too loose. By now you should have set up your ring support on the retort stand. Place your separating funnel into the ring and make sure the tip of it sits inside the receiver conical flask. This is important because you need to drain out all your solution and you do not have to hold on to the conical flask. So before you start to do extraction, it'd be good to put a few drops of water inside the separating funnel. You are certain that this separating funnel is not leaking because the meniscus of the water that we have just put in stays at the same level. Now pour away the water into the little drainage system inside your fume hood. Remember that you can only discard aqueous solution to this drain. You need to place a glass funnel at the top to channel your liquid in. So right now my right hand is holding a conical flask full of methylene chloride. You got to transfer everything through the funnel inside the separating funnel. Using a glass measuring cylinder, measure out the volume of the sodium bicarbonate you need for this extraction. The volume used for extraction purposes is not that critical, so here we can use about 12 cm³ of your bicarbonate solution. Carefully transfer the bicarbonate solution into the same separating funnel. Okay. When the last drop has gone down, just swing your funnel a little bit. If you observe carefully, even though we are having a colorless solution, but actually on a closer look, we have two separate layers of transparent colorless liquid that do not mix. Because at the bottom, we are going to have the denser organic methylene chloride liquid, and at the top, the aqueous sodium bicarbonate solution. Now remove the separating funnel from the ring support and put the stopper in. With our hands positioned as shown onto the separating funnel, invert it and vent it into the fume hood by rotating the stopcock. Since organic solvents have a low boiling point, so when we invert and shake the whole system, some of these solvents will be converted into the gaseous phase. We have to vent it to release the pressure. Once again, you have to vent it inside your fume hood for safety reason. After you have vented, rotate the stopcock so that now it's closed, and shake the whole flask again to mix the two phases, and vent it again, and keep on doing it for a few times. Now open the stopper. Now hold the separating funnel by the neck at the stopcock and swirl it to allow the phases to come down and settle so that you can see a perfect interface. Put the funnel back to the ring support. Look at the horizontal line. That's the interface between the aqueous layer and the organic layer. Now we can see that the two phases are separated. We can swirl it one more time. Now you see that the system has settled down and you see two distinct layers. Bottom is your methylene chloride. It is denser because of its high molecular weight to volume ratio. The top one being water, which is less dense. Let's start to drain the layers out. At the beginning, you can open the stopcock a little bit more to allow a greater volume of the liquid to flow down. It will be swifter that way. When you observe that the interface is reaching the stopcock, use a hand and rotate the stopcock so that we can slow down the flow rate of the liquid. Control using your fingers well. We see that there's a little bit of organic layer very close to the stopcock. So use your fingers and rotate gently to allow a small aperture for the last drop to come down. Control and stop. So we have the organic part being drained out to the bottom. It is a colorless, clear solution, and you see that there are no visible water around. Make sure that there are no water molecules at all. Okay, so in this case, we are very happy with the current situation. So for the top layer now, pour it out to a new aluminium flask from the top. This is how we ensure that the two layers do not mix again. The bottom layer you drain from the bottom. The top layer we pour out from the top. Simple as that. In most circumstances, we have to do multiple extractions so that the compound that we want separates cleanly. Remind yourself that the bottom layer is the organic layer. So now transfer this organic layer back into the separating funnel via the funnel. You always have to use a glass funnel to assist you in this. Okay? Right. Make sure every single drop goes in, nothing left. Okay. Transfer another portion of your aqueous sodium bicarbonate solution into the measuring cylinder. And then pour it again via a glass funnel into the same separating funnel. Okay. Put the stopper back, close it, shake it, and vent it inside the fume hood. Okay, shake it again. Okay, vent it, shake it again, and vent it. Okay, so after a while you won't hear any sound. That means it's all good. Open the stopper. Okay, and then swirl it. Okay, holding at the base of your separating funnel, swirl it so that we can allow the layers to settle down quickly. Okay, the two layers will clear up after some time. Okay, do you see that? On the top here, there is this the globule. So now we have two separated layers, and you can drain the bottom layer out. Once more, you can use the same conical flask because it is the same compound. Okay, now move it slow. Go easy. Okay, use your fingers, maneuver it. Okay, rotate, swirl the flask. Okay, so that you are not mixing the two together. Okay, and you watch it. Okay, follow the meniscus. Okay, allow a little bit of hold. Drop by drop, drip it down, and watch it. Stop. Here you go. And the top layer is the aqueous layer. So we combine with the previous portion of the aqueous layer. Okay. Put the funnel back into the ring support. And then we'll continue to do it one more time. This is the last extraction. So for the last extraction, use the clean and dry conical flask to receive the liquid. So once more, we drain the bottom layer. Okay. Swirl it when the meniscus is like somewhat reaching the stopcock. Okay. Give it a few seconds for it to settle. Sometimes you may need to give it a couple of minutes, so hold your patience. Drop by drop. Okay. You really have to eyeball the meniscus. Okay. Eyes on it. Here you go. So now we have the organic layer. Make sure there's no visible water in this way. Okay. And the top layer, what do? We combine with the previous two portions. Okay, so we combine them, okay, in one entity. And also here, in this conical flask, it should be a clear solution without any droplets of the organic layer. You see? Here we have aqueous layer and organic layer. The organic layer might still contain some water, even though it is not visible. You can't see it. That's why we're going to dry it with some drying agent. Typically, it's sodium sulfate. So here we have the chemical sodium sulfate anhydrous that absorbs water very well. Okay. So we pour some drying agents in it. Okay. It is in powder form. Use a big spatula. Transfer it. Okay. Add a bit. Okay, into the conical flask, right? Now take note, we do not add to the aqueous one, we add to the organic one. Swirl it to allow even mixing. And you can see that some of the sodium sulfate actually sticks to the bottom. It aggregates because they absorb water. You see that? Look carefully. It forms small lumps. It means that the solution still contains some water inside. Okay. Now, so you only stop adding when you see that the sodium sulfate that you just transfer inside remains as a powder form. So now we added more of the sodium sulfate. Okay. Again, swirl it. And we start to see that the solid at the base can move around. Okay, they are not restricted to the bottom. And what does that tell you? That means it's getting drier and drier. Our sodium sulfate is going to absorb almost all the moisture from the organic layer. Become clear. So the solid move freely. It's completely dry. No complaints. Let it settle down for a few minutes, yeah? And so now we can proceed to do filtration. You should have learned in the previous video that you know how to fold a fluted filter paper. If not, go back and watch it. It's a very nice video. Okay, beautifully made. Gotta do some practicing, huh? You already take some skills. Transfer the suspensions through the filter paper. Okay. The fluted filter paper increases surface area and also allow ventilation, the air from the bottom to come out and escape, so that it won't form a vacuum. Typically, we use a bit more of the methylene chloride, okay, to rinse the flask. Make sure that we didn't miss out anything inside. Okay, all the organic compounds that we want are all into the main conical flask here. Okay, using gravity filtration, no suction here, just let it drop. Patience, guys, patience. Dup, 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 ding, ding, dup. Okay, that's good. Now you see, completely dry, clear, transparent liquid. Okay, and so now we can just evaporate the solvent to get back our compound. In this photo, you see that there's still some water globules inside the methylene chloride. It is not entirely dry yet. After we have added a spoonful of the anhydrous sodium sulfate, you see that the suspension become very milky. It shows that it is still very wet. So we're going to top up more, and in the next photo, you see that now it's a bit drier, but still wet. The conical flask on the left hand side shows that your methylene chloride is still very wet. You should get something like the right conical flask if it is entirely dry. You see a clear, transparent solution, totally not milky. My name is Funman, and it's been a great pleasure guiding you throughout this video. We hope that you learn well and do practice the right way to improve your skills. See ya!